interaction actually with NFTs. It's called VB Collectibles.
Right.
I don't know
Yes.
if you heard about it.
Yes. 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 I
So
have.
so
Yeah.
so like the onboarding was like super easy and super smooth, and just like
Yeah.
through
It was
Apple
a breath
Pay,
of
you
fresh air at that point. Yeah.
100%. So I think that should be the approach when we talk about user onboarding, combined with full ownership. So um, I think like what excites me about NFTs besides the digital ownership part is that you can also remove intermediaries. So it isn't just uh, an item on the blockchain where you can prove digital ownership. You also don't need intermediaries when it comes to transfer that digital object and build functionality on top. So when we talk about use cases beyond like art, I definitely think that NFTs are the most interesting technology when we talk about identity, also how we present ourselves in the digital space. You can
Right.
easily um, you can easily identify community members. We had that whole phenomena in like 2021, 2022 with the Bored Apes. But I
Right.
think the most interesting thing I definitely think is the utility side of things. So you have now that digital object where you can prove ownership, and now you add certain utilities to it. So let's talk about digital experiences or also mobile gaming. You can you can get access to interviews, online content, and all that kind of stuff, and everything can be accessed through that NFT. So I think that's, in my opinion, the most promising use case when we talk about NFTs. And I think, like from a numbers perspective, also gaming. I think gaming is getting stronger and stronger because it just makes a whole lot of sense. And gamers, I think, also getting now finally the better experience on crypto games and Web3 games, where like 1, 2 years ago it was like still a bit um, clunky and also too much friction, because at the end of the day, someone who is playing a video game wants to have a cool experience. But now I see also on that side, it's getting better and better and better. And once they realize that they can really fully own and control their in-gaming assets, in my opinion, then that's the game changer. So to summarize it, I think community culture will be a huge driver when it comes to NFTs,
Right.
utilities, especially when we talk about consumer applications or like loyalty membership programs and gaming.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. I do think that the technology is finding more and more acceptability because it's easy for people now, perhaps, to understand and associate the benefits that NFTs bring to all of these niches. So, because initially, I was actually one on the other side, like very initially when I had heard of NFTs and crypto kitties and just art collectibles. I
Yeah.
did not understand, honestly, the charm. And slowly, over time, I've understood that the technology itself has so many other use cases, and it has been an absolute pleasure to see how this kind of space has evolved. You have actually been there, done that as well. Are there any particular NFT projects that you feel are very, very promising? Or if somebody's, or if that kind of puts you in the spot, then I would love to ask if you had to perhaps recommend to somebody who's looking at, the NFT game, how to get into it. Perhaps what would be the kind of criteria you would advise them to take? What would be the parameters that they should keep in mind?
Well, I think it really depends on what you are looking for, what's your interest, and there I I would even say that the Miracle can be a good like place to discover it. If you are more
Hmm.
into like traveling or community, um, or even in dining or sports, you will find something where you find like the right tribe where you can connect with the right people. But I think there are a lot of projects which are doing doing an amazing job when it comes to building a community and even a brand or IP. Don't have to mention Putty Penguins. I guess like a lot of people know about them. Luca Netz is
Hmm.
doing an amazing job, brought the IP outside of that Web3 bubble into the biggest retailers and stores. And besides Pudgy Penguins, I think people should look also into Chimpers. Chimpers also, they created a really cool IP and brand in that pixel art style. And they have a beautiful storytelling, very engaged communities. They're doing a lot of things also in gaming. And yeah, as I mentioned before, it really depends what's your interest, and that's like the beautiful thing what NFTs can offer and how the space evolved. Even now, when markets are down on that side, it is not just about collectibles or about art. It's basically now in every industry where you can find cool communities. So also Kanpai Pandas, for example, they have like so many cool real world experiences where people can get access to like Formula One races or
Right.
even like boxing fights and stuff like that. So I think there are a lot of cool projects to explore.
Absolutely. I think that is very true. Well, which is your like how do these projects, if they want to get onboarded onto your platform, like are you onboarding these NFT onto the platform, or is there a B2B side to your platform as well?
So the cool thing is when we started, our approach was, hey, let's solve a problem for the users.
Right.
And once we solved it, as we did it now on Ethereum with like 100 projects on the platform, we will talk to the projects and show them what we have built. So um, it was like, let's build it and then we share it. And now we are getting like official partnerships with the projects which we have on the platform. Because the cool thing is something I didn't mention before, once a project is on our platform and once we aggregate the data, everything is fully automated on the other side. So projects don't have any tasks. They don't have to set up an account. They don't have to set up anything on our platform. We only need the sources where benefits are distributed, like the channels.
Okay.
And from there, everything is fully automated. We have been working on an AI concept where data gets in, and then
Hmm.
our AI organizes and creates like the benefit listings on our platform as you see it now. So the whole B2B side is fully automated, and if a project would like to get on the miracle, they can reach out to the team, um, and we can discuss absolutely.
All right. Now, again, zooming out a little bit from the miracle and looking at the industry as a whole, you've been in the space for some time now. So, can you tell me what would be the main drivers for the next, or some people say we're already in the bull market, but what are the kind of niches according to you that will really drive this growth in the market? Do you see NFTs being as one of the niches?
I think I think NFTs they are still a niche when we talk about like when you have a pie chart and you see how many users are in crypto in general and how many users are in NFT. It's still a it's still a small part of it, but I think there are like certain like use cases which are going outside of that bubble, as I just explained, like when it comes to loyalty and consumer programs. A lot of like fashion brands are looking more and more into NFTs without like mentioning NFTs. So we see a lot of cool things happening on that side. And from an industry perspective, I think what I witnessed now when I was in Paris and when I was in Dubai, Token 2049, there is a lot, like a lot of projects are working on the infrastructure side to make access to crypto more frictionless and also seamless. So it's not like the goal to have all that like different kinds of blockchains where users have to use different wallets, and it's just too complicated. So I think like the whole like omni-chain will be a huge driver in future. I'm sure NFTs will come back, but in a different way. I strongly believe NFTs will be used, as we discussed today, across many different industries, and utilities will be the main driver on that side, and also gaming. In general, gaming also, in my opinion, something which can drive the next bull run, and obviously Bitcoin. So the whole ordinal side of things, or runes, is super interesting to look into it, and obviously L2. So everything what makes using crypto blockchain more frictionless, also cheaper, is going to be interesting within the next years.
Right. Yeah, I do think that, what you mentioned is in a very succinct way, you've kind of covered what I also truly believe would begin or push the bull run in a big way. What would be the kind of resources that you would want to, suggest for people who are looking to get into the NFT space?
I think it's always good to, I mean, right now, I can highly recommend to check out Farcaster. I don't know if you already signed up for Farcaster, but I think they are very, very clever minds who are sharing like a lot of alpha and cool stuff on that platform. But I think in general, it is still very niche when it comes to resources. So I think Twitter is still a good platform, but you have to follow the right accounts. There are very good podcasts, and obviously I think Decrypt and Rock Radio are doing a fantastic job. So Decrypt even has like um, they have like a program where you can sign up and learn stuff for free, and you get like a certificate, if I'm not wrong. And Rock Radio is doing like daily and weekly shows on Twitter, like Twitter Spaces. So I think like the thing about NFTs is it's not just about NFT. It is more a mix of NFTs and Web3 in general. And you can get started on Twitter. Discord, I think is too complicated as the first single point of where you can get started. So, but I don't know how the situation is over on YouTube. So yeah, it's a good question. I think now your question um, made me thinking that maybe there is a need for better educational material. If I
Yeah.
if I think about it,
Yeah, I think it is
there,
all very, very, fragmented. I think like a lot of things
yeah,
in Web3, right? It's all over the place. You do need like, there's no one go-to platform that you can go to perhaps and get all the right information. You need to know who to follow and what kind
yeah.
of information to sort of assimilate. So that can be a little complicated, and that is perhaps a problem statement that any, one of our listeners can pick up and start working on.
Yes, and at the end of the day, I think the best learning is to get started with something, like to maybe get your first NFT set up a wallet, and also that it will get easier. So what we will also push within the next 2 or 3 weeks is that you can create an account with email or even by social logins, and the wallet will be implemented in the back end, so you don't have to get started with those pain points of setting up a wallet and stuff like that. I think that helps too. And then I think just join like a community where you think you have certain interests with
Right.
which overlaps, and then yeah, then the rest is going to be history. At least that was like how I started.
Right. Yeah. Once you go, once you start learning a little bit, I I think you come across more resources that will work better for you. So I do agree
Yeah,
there, right? Once you go down that rabbit hole, you'll actually be able to discern perhaps what are the right resources and what are the kind of right people that you should be following. But you do need to, if you want to really get in the space, I think in Web3, this is something very unique. As against other, sectors, perhaps because they have already been around for some time. So there is,
mm,
information from the outside, and you can perhaps go through it and get a fair idea about how things are. But in Web3, I think you need to really get down and dirty, get your hands dirty, really do, before you can take that call, and you can
I
make an
agree
informed choice. Yeah.
100%. And I think it's also good that you like the learning curve is super fast and steady.
Hmm.
And yeah, you got. I think I didn't meet any person within the last years who didn't say, "Oh shit, I got like scammed. I clicked the wrong link and stuff like that." It's just like
Yeah.
it helped to understand the technology and the possibilities and also the gaps
Hmm.
to to get there where we are right now. And the more people learn about it, and the easier it gets also in future. I'm 100% sure that the blockchain technology will be the underlying technology, not only in like culture and the whole consumer side of things, but also when we talk about finance and yeah, just overall pretty bullish on the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. You and me both. So, Danilo, this has been such a wonderful conversation. I almost don't want it to end, but we are running out of time. I would love to ask you this one last question that I ask everybody who comes on the on this particular podcast,
Yeah.
and when we push these on out on all these platforms. You've made a leap, right? You were working in banking and IT, and from there, from helping out with the initial debit cards that were kind of pushed out, in with Mastercard. Now you're working with NFTs. You took that leap of faith and you started working in this space. What would be your advice to perhaps aspiring entrepreneurs or even just users who are sitting on the fence regarding blockchain technology as a whole? What would be your perhaps top three suggestions to them for them to be able to start living on blockchain?
Um, I think like first really follow what you're passionate about. I think that it comes mostly down to that question like what really drives you and what you're passionate about. You should try to find ways how you can express yourself or work or build something. I mean, it doesn't have to be building a startup as I did. It can also be creating content or also what you do, like podcasts. I think it's wonderful to find like your thing, what you're passionate about, and then get started. And like the second thing is that you will you might face a lot of people who say, "Oh, it can't be done," or "Does that even have a future?" or whatever. So don't listen to naysayers. I think that's a really important thing. And number three is find the right people. So find the right people who believe in the same vision or in the same thing what you do. And then from there, things will get much easier if you have people who you can work together on the thing you want to build and bring to other people.
Absolutely. I think find your tribe, find what your passion is, and then build towards that. So those
100%.
are, yeah, those are good nuggets to end this particular episode with. Thank you once again for making the time to speak to me today. Any parting words before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I want to say thank you that I got the chance to talk to you, Tarusha. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Likewise.
Yeah, if for the listeners, if you want to figure out what you can all do with NFTs, you can check out our platform, themiracle.io. We are super happy about getting feedback in to make the user experience better and better and better.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Lovely.
look,
So this is a
hope,
wonderful way to end it. I'm gonna add, put in the platform as well as the community in the description of the podcast. So listeners, do check it out. I am already on the platform. I find it super intuitive and interesting, and I'm exploring it as we speak. So this has been wonderful, and thank you so much once again, Danilo.
Thank you, Tarusha. Hopefully talk to you soon again.
Absolutely.